Hi guys, so this is how I would solve the three quadratics from puzzle one. So in puzzle one, you're being asked to factor each, so we have three equations right here, and then of the solutions from each of these functions, we're going to choose the one that has the highest positive solution of all three, and then we're going to match that to the function name. So it's either going to be g, j, or k. So let's go for it. For number one, or g of x equals 4x squared minus 100. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set it equal to 0. Okay, so 4x squared minus 100 equals 0. So what I notice here, and there are different ways to do this, but what I notice with this one is that I do not have a bx term or a middle term, right? So there's no bx term. So that's going to tell me that maybe this could be maybe square roots. And I also notice that 4x squared, so I'm going to erase that. I also notice that 4x squared and 100 are both square numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my 100. So I'm going to play around here. So my next step here is going to be 4x squared, and I'm going to add 100 to both sides. So 4x squared now equals 100. Now, if I look at both of these sides, I am automatically think, well, both of these are square terms. So maybe I should just take the square root of each side. So square root and square root. The square root of 4x squared, well, I should have a 2x, right? And then I should equal, well, the square root of 100 is what? 10, okay? And then I'm going to isolate my x. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. Now x equals 5. Now also be mindful that, remember, this over here, if I take the square root of 100, it's going to be positive or negative 10. So don't forget to include those two up there and also down here. So that is one way I could do this. I'm actually going to show you another way as well. And so far we have an answer though. X is equal to a set of -5 and +5. Okay, now you might also have done this a different way. You could also have done it like this. 4x squared minus 100 is 0. I'm still going to do similar steps. I'm going to end up with 4x squared equals 100. But what if I if I factor out a 4, could I do it this way? Well, 4 divided by 4, yep, x squared. And then if I divide the other side, it's going to be 25. Take the square root of both, and I'm going to end up with x equals positive or -5. So either way I do it, I end up with the same answer. You have to decide which way is better for you. So a lot of this factoring stuff just takes time and effort. Okay, and a little creativity as well. So let's go to the second one. So for the function, the j of x function, I look at j of x right here, and I'm going to write this, let's see, 8x squared minus 32. Well, let's see. I'm going to set this equal to 0 because that's what I do when I factor. And there are different ways that you could do this. So let's try this way. Well, if I have 8x squared, let's just move, because I don't have a bx term over here either. So what if I move this to the side, the other side? So 8x squared equals 32. And now I'm just going to solve. I could isolate, I'm just trying to isolate the x. So I'm going to maybe divide by 8. 8 divided by 8. And I have x squared left over. And then I have 32 divided by 8, which is 4. Okay. Oh, this is great because now I have square roots on both sides. So I can just take the square roots of both sides. And x equals positive or -2. Okay. So x is equal to the set of -2 and +2. And notice I am writing the positive signs out just to bring my attention to it. Okay, so the last one we're going to do is the bottom, and this is a basic trinomial. Some of you may already see that the solutions are going to be negative, and I'll show you why. So this can't even be one of the contenders. So I'll show you that here though. So I have x squared plus 9x plus 14 equals 0. I'm going to set it equal to 0. I'm going to do the product sum game here. So I want to multiply to 14, combine to 9. I already know, I think 7 times 2 is 14, and it's also adding to 9. So it's my two factors, don't confuse these with solutions. My two factors are 7 and 2. I'm going to rewrite that in the correct order, or the correct format, and that's x plus 7 and x plus 2 equals 0. I'm going to set both equal to 0, both sides. So x plus 7 equals 0, x plus 2 equals 0. Okay, and now I'm just going to solve. So I'm going to end up with x is negative 7, and then subtract my 2 over here. X is negative 2. Okay, so notice when I had two positive factors up here, I had two negative solutions. So it's always going to be the opposite sign. So if you see a trinomial that is all positive numbers, or you're adding the monomials together, if you think about it that way, then your solutions are always going to be negative. So x is equal to the set of negative 7 and negative 2. So all of this work tells us the following, that I need to find what's the highest solution, right? Highest root, highest solution of the 3. Well, that would be positive 5. Positive 5 is the highest solution of each of the 3 functions. So that means that the function g of x is the winner. And that means that the Magus's, sounds like maggot, the Magus's name starts with G. Okay? Good job.